Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Rail Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
And happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. My name is Josh Corey, and I am joined this morning by two, count them two, of my very good friends and co-hosts right here on the show. Starting off with one, Mr. Walter Johnson, a.k.a. Flat Earth Head, over on YouTube. Walt, how was your weekend, sir?
Hi, Josh. Hi, Zach. Hi, TFR and other places. Good morning, Fiat Lux. It's cold here finally. It is officially freezing. We finally hit 32 degrees today. So the threat of pipes bursting and all the fun that we have here in South Louisiana, because, we're not built for all that. There's much less insulation down here for the winter than there is.
Yeah, it is quite different down there, I must admit.
So when we get a little cold, we go out and write pipes and cover plants and, that whole thing. Plus, I live in a house that's above ground. All my pipes are underneath exposed, so when it gets down to like 34, I have to start worrying about it because a little wind chill and it will freeze at 34.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. Are most houses above ground down there?
Yeah, but not all. Not all are like this. Some are just their pipes are in the ground and the things come up out of the ground. It just depends on the way the house is made. Mine's all exposed, essentially, is what I'm saying. Not all are like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Most have a little brick thing built around it, or they have some wooden whatever, like a skirting on a house or whatever you call that. I don't know what that's called. It's a trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that kind of stuff usually is protecting it. Our house is just pretty exposed. It's old and yeah. So, but how are you? I hear you are here, Zach. I'm glad that you made it. How are you, my friend and co-host?
Yeah, I'm here and about. Hello, everybody out there. Yeah, oh, wow, I just totally botched that, didn't I?
It's all good. We're all flying.
I woke up on, I need to go back to bed and get out the other side of the bed somehow or something.
Do a retake?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. I don't know. Ever since like yesterday, I just had this weird feeling. And I'm like on edge and I don't know. Man, when was that? It had to be, I don't know, Saturday maybe? No, I think it was, I don't know. I don't even know. I was laying in bed, just laying there. And I closed my eyes. My head was tilted way up. I was sitting on a pillow. And all of a sudden, it felt like everything shifted and I was falling forward for just a split second. Like everything in my body like fell forward. It was so weird. I don't know what it was. Cammy said the magnetic field dropped off the chart right around that time. I don't know. It was weird. It felt like I was like the vector of gravity shifted all of a sudden. Never ever had that happen before in my life. It was weird. I don't know. It felt, and it wasn't like just falling forward. It felt like a giant pulse. Like switched everything for a second. I don't know. And then I've been looking at NASA stuff lately, so I've been in a real rare mood.
And what night was this happened? Sunday night or Saturday?
I wanted to say it happened around 3 o'clock, but I was in Columbia, flat tapping with Tommy and all them out at the flea market. So I know it couldn't have been Saturday at 3. Maybe it was a little bit later. Maybe it was like 6 o'clock on Saturday. 7, no, because we didn't get home till about 7:30. It might have been Sunday. I don't know. It was weird, though.
It is weird.
I've been looking into app designing. I don't know if I should say too much more about it right now. Just in case, you know how that goes. There's a few people interested in my formula.
I bet there's lots of people interested in your formula.
Yeah, there's nothing like that out there yet. I've been looking around, and it looks like it'd be pretty easy to like add to an app that's already out there, or start your own app, or I don't know. I've been talking with Jaron a little bit about it and how hard it would be to do. We'll see. No, but I don't know. Just every time I see something about NASA, they're like bombarding me with NASA.
So you're going to build a NASA filter?
I need to. Guess what? The Deep Space Crew capsule. It could take months to fix now.
What?
So they're already pushing stuff back for the 2024. Yeah, it's going to take months. A component failure in NASA's Deep Space Crew capsule could take months to fix. A power component had failed, blah, 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 blah. Months? Really? It's going to take NASA months to pick something off the shelf and put a new one on? It's not like the private sector where they have to go up and find an old one and try to tinker it and fix it and get it right and this and that.
You would think that.
You would think that.
You would think that.
And they use words like may require and trying, and yeah, I don't want to read through it.
Kelly in chat asks, what was off the charts? Cammy said, Zach, explain that a bit more for her, if you know more.
Cammy is really into the space weather and the magnetic flux of Earth's magnetic field. Now, I don't know if any of this data we get is accurate at all or anything like that, but it seems to be somewhat, you know. But you can go to their sites and they have, you know, their satellites. It's just weather balloons taking readings of the magnetic field and electric field and this and that. And it fluctuates. The magnetic, I'm not even sure how to word this properly.
It's hard to explain.
It changes. it goes up and down on a scale, and it was like it dropped off the chart. Usually it's been real high lately. It's usually around 5 or so, and it's been up around 15. But right at that time, it was up there real high, and then all of a sudden it just dropped off the chart. Like you didn't see any magnetic movement at all for a little while. I'll see if I can't find it and drop it in chat for you guys.
I think I've actually got it bookmarked as well. Before we keep digging deep here, how was your weekend, Josh?
Oh, it was good. Surprisingly good, actually. Well, surprising in the fact that I had to go get a truck and get the rest of the stuff from the old house, which was basically just a truck full of things that my mother had given me previously that she took back when we were moving out, and then decided that she had it all and didn't know what to do with it now that she'd taken it back, and decided to go ahead and give it back to me again. So I went and picked a bunch of stuff up, which included a riding lawnmower, which is always handy to have, but I just didn't have any ramps or any good way to get it in there. So basically, with the help of Dixie chalking the wheels and making sure it didn't roll on me, I just beasted that son of a bitch up into the back of the moving truck manually, and got it in and out by myself. Well, with Dixie's help, of course, but just through the strength of legs and back did I get it in and out of that truck, and woke up the next day not sore, surprisingly. Muscles were a little sore just because I'm weak and out of shape. You know, had I actually been lifting weights or exercising, those muscles wouldn't be particularly sore, but I had no back pain, no shoulder pain, no neck pain, didn't pull anything, didn't strain anything. And hell, I guess at 43 years old, that's an accomplishment. But
It is indeed.
Timer.
It is, sir.
I know, right? But other than that, it was a nice quiet weekend. Not much going on. Just getting the last few odds and ends coming in from the mail. Yeah, other than that, it was good. It was quiet. Enjoying the house.
Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, we had a pretty quiet weekend. I had to run and do a few things at the last second. Michelle's birthday was yesterday, and even though we plan on doing her party this weekend, I still wanted to do something for her actual day of her birthday. So me and her daughter got together and just, did a few things, got a few things together, and had a little small, this is your holder gift till you get your real gift on the weekend type thing. So that's all we really did. Just about. It was a great Friday night. If you guys weren't over there hanging out with us at Have No Sphere, we had an amazing discussion with Lucas, who I see is there in chat, LC King. If you haven't checked out his channel, go do that. And if you missed Friday's show, we had a blast talking about all kinds of things. Magical number 3 and lots of stuff. And then after the show, he and I and Cammie sat and talked for another probably hour, I would guess.
I sent him an apology. I was like,
Right.
dude, I'm sorry. It's just that they're listening to him. He's got such a calming, soothing voice.
It was awesome to share with you, Lucas. Thank you, sir, for hanging out. And we had some brain breakers after the show was over that I did manage to actually record. So at some point, I'll figure out a way to let you guys check that out. It may be a Patreon only. Who knows?
Ooh.
But yeah, I'll dig it around and see if I can edit it once I get my computer built. I know you guys are eager to hear the adventures of the computer. I got all my stuff in Friday. Saturday, I sat down to build the computer and found out that the processor that I had been sent is not usable. So we are working on replacing the processor. And at this point in time, apparently everybody and their cousin is building computers, because finding a good processor is difficult. Now, you can find Intel everywhere, but I'm a little bit over Intel and moved to AMD. And right now, all the Ryzens that are good are gone. There's a lot of really badly benchmarked ones that you can get everywhere, and that's why you can get them, because they're not the best ones. So being that I'm now in the state of having to redo this whole process, I'm just going to do a better, little newer generation CPU, and that way I won't have to hopefully build one for a few years instead of, when everything re-ups in the next year or month or 2 months. It seems like they change these things every other day at this point when I'm looking for stuff. A new one's coming out next week. And so it's pretty insane, the advancement that happens on a seems like daily basis. But yeah, that's where we are. waiting.
Just hanging with the neighbor. She needed to have some stuff done, and she wanted me to meet her husband, who lives out in Arizona. He takes care of his mom, and she stays here and takes care of her mom. Their moms don't want to move, so they live. They get together every few weeks or something like that. He flies in or she flies out, and I forget where I was going with this. Oh, he was talking about IT guys. We were talking about computers and stuff like that. I was telling him about Jaron. And, great guy and everything, just no filter, especially when talking about computers. They just know it so well. They don't want to explain it to you. They just want to go and do it. Like Jaron had to go do something on my computer yesterday. And I know better than to ask him, how did you do that? I just, I've learned since being around Jaron, you just shut up and let him do it. And that's exactly what the guy was saying. He's like, my IT guy, he'll come up and I'll tell him what's wrong, and he'll just look at me and go, all right, now shut up. Don't say a word. Let me do this real quick. And he'll type it out and then he'll talk to him a little bit. But he says he doesn't talk to really anybody. Like the best IT guys are like the savants. They've been sitting at that computer so long, they don't have the social skills of, being around the filter. You don't say just whatever comes on your mind. And a lot of those IT guys, they don't have that. They just say it. Well, I got a kick out of that. I don't know. It was nice. It's nice getting to meet your neighbors. I don't know if anybody out there does it, but we've only been here a few months. I know both the neighbors pretty well now. I've always done that. As long as they're nice neighbors. You kind of get a feel for people. If you don't want to get to know them, you don't. But yeah, get to know your neighbors, folks. It's especially right now, it's important.
It definitely is.
If somebody's, your group that you want to be around, and people that and this and that, if they're 30-something miles away and shit hits the fan right here and you're kind of stuck, it'd be nice to know some people in your immediate area, just in case, But yeah, I'm going to maybe build, some guy was going to build her some garden beds, and he was going to charge her $6,000.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they charge for this.
That kind of stuff can't get up there. My brother and his family had to look at doing some things there in their yard, because apparently Oregon is just a big sponge. It's always damp and moist ground. So they were looking at trying to figure out a way to do something with the drainage, because pretty much what happened is everybody else around them fixed their yard, so they catch all the off drain from all their crap. Anyway, it's expensive, stupid expensive, or at least what they charge you is stupid expensive.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how much they were charging just to do. It's like basic land. Yeah, there's some work involved. You got to move some earth and this and that, and there's some building involved. But $6,000 to do like a week's worth of work for one person? That's ridiculous. I couldn't charge people that kind of money. I couldn't sleep at night. I don't know.
I couldn't either. That's why I've never been a businessman or a wheeler dealer or
no, my business would go bankrupt.
Yeah.
George, whatever his name is, your money's in Clarence's house and George's house and Margaret's house. Yeah, I couldn't be a potter, one of those rich guys that can see people suffering and just sit there and be like, "Yep, tough luck."
What? Thank you, Enlightened Dawn. She gave us a fist bump super chat for the morning. That's how I like to get started this morning. Thank you, ma'am. That's awesome. Thank all of you for being here already this morning. It's good to see you guys, or I know some of you it isn't morning. In fact, we were laughing that night after the show with Lucas. We were all like, well, dude, we're going to let you get to bed. He's sitting there in the middle of the day because he's in a totally different part of the plane. But I forget that when you just kind of face to face. So, but yeah, thank you all. I'll run the list here in a minute, but I know we're getting pretty. Oh, no, we're not as close as I thought. Sorry. I was jumping the gun. It felt like it was already break time.
Be careful.
But
time may be exactly as it seems.
Time who, what, where? Time.
Yeah. Usually it flies by. Maybe it's just normal time today.
Maybe so. Maybe so. Maybe that was the shift that Zach felt, is time fixing itself, because it's definitely been awry. Excuse me.
Yeah, I checked.
I know there's been a lot of stuff in the sky. I had sent Martin. Well, actually, Lucas, you'll be glad to know, I did tell Martin to look into Madagascar. Cammie and he and I were discussing crystals and found out that there are certain types of crystals that only come from Madagascar. I already knew there were certain animals that only come from Madagascar. Plus, it's a cool little island that you want to control if you're playing Risk. It's a nice little, anyway. But yeah, we figured out
Madagascar, the island where they sent all the demons to.
Dude, it's nuts, the stuff you find out when you go looking into the history. And then if you go looking at the buildings there, mudflood, anyone? Yes. If you've never looked at baboa trees, I don't know if it was Lucas or Cammie that said they look like the roots are growing out the top of them like they're upside down. I'm like, oh, that's what's underneath us. There's where it's all coming together. That's the bottom side of us, and that's the flip side of the disc. I don't know. It was just kind of funny then. Go look into the baboa trees. It's pretty nuts, and the avenue of them. And just Madagascar seems like a strange place. So I pointed Martin that way, and I can't wait to see what he finds out. But yeah, he and I were talking about the fact that there's been crazy just amounts of stuff going on in the sky. 2 insanely huge fireballs reported in 2 different places this weekend. And then the moon.
Was it over Japan or something like that?
One of them, for sure. I've got the stories there somewhere in our pile. But the moon was nuts last night and then tonight. In fact, I did take a picture. I said I was going to put the first picture I took, but tonight's picture I will definitely put up. It's a beautiful.
Did you get to see the eclipse at all?
I tried, but I didn't see it. It was, it was too.
It was cloudy here.
Yeah, and then it was like low and cloudy. So, but definitely last night it just was pretty crazy. Felt really strange. Really strange.
Well, they mapped a million previously undiscovered galaxies beyond the Milky Way.
Sure, they did.
Oh my goodness. Didn't they just find out that they were wrong about the size of the Milky Way?
They just found out that there was a 9th planet floating around in this solar system. Don't tell me they've mapped out all kinds of... Come on.
Yeah, we just figured out we're way closer to the galactic center and the...
Not like...
We shifted about, I don't know, a gazillion miles. Because they just...
Not even a million miles. It's 2,000 light years, people.
Just tweaking their math. Come on, man. I mean, you got to get it right. You don't want to give them a wrong math. You want to have your math tweaked, right? Come on. Where you at? I thought you was a mathy dude.
And we're moving like 160 miles a second faster or something ridiculous. 16,000 miles an hour faster around the galactic center now. How do we not know this? How are we so wrong? They keep saying, well, we're right. We know this stuff. We're right. And then next month, oh, we were wrong. But now we're right.
Yeah, but whenever you measure the Milky Way, somebody's always snickering.
There he is. Look at that.
What's up, Jonathan?
What's going on, guys?
We've got about 2 minutes before we hit the break, and I wanted to give a big shout out to Darren Cox for the super chat. For the first snow.
Oh, I missed it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's there somewhere.
Nice. Happy first snow week. Darren told us for his super chat. Thank you, sir. I missed it completely. Trying to find
another
this picture.
4-letter word. I'm not using that word this year.
Week? What's wrong with week? I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to see that white stuff this year. It's not going to happen.
Those individual,
I've never had a year
unique water crystals frozen in time as they fall from the sky. That stuff.
I was just about to say I'd rather see the stars fall from the sky, but I don't think I would. I don't think I would. That might freak me out a little bit. Martin did a presentation on that the night the stars fell back in 1833. It was a good one. He's got some pictures with these guys carrying around these giants. They look like they're Asian in descent. And there's 4 of them sitting on like a big flat platform, wooden platform, and like 50 guys around the edge, these tiny little guys carrying them, these 4 big giant dudes. Just like, and they're just sitting there, just like cruising, walking next to a river. I don't know. Crazy stuff that guy finds. I don't know. That guy does research in his sleep, I swear.
Does seem that way. Well, we are joined by Jonathan from Jersey.
Hey, guys.
Down south in Florida.
You know what I went through last week? Oh, my God.
I do want to catch up on that. We've still got about 20 seconds before we hit the break. But, yeah, I definitely want to catch up and find out how the hell you're doing. Just
Dude, if this one thing comes through today, I think today or tomorrow, the next time I'm on the show and I tell you, you guys will be like, how the hell does that even happen? And when you know that it's in relation to what happened 2008, like the same kind of pattern, you remember I was talking about pattern recognition?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, how does that even happen? And then I'll explain that. But I'm praying. Just all I can say is the audience, please pray for me.
So plenty of thoughts, prayers, and positive vibes out there for Jonathan from Jersey and the things going on in his life. Lots of good things on the horizon, so to speak. This is the Ironworx on Truth Frequency Radio. Josh, Walt, and Zach hanging out this morning with Jonathan from Jersey. We'll be back right after these briefest of messages. Stick around.
It's amazing how people
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tack, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky, they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and there's lawyers and business executives and they're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry. They all have pretty children. The children go to school and the children go to summer camp and then to the university where they are put in boxes. They come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Wake up.
Yep.
Wake up, it's a brand new day.
And welcome back to the Ironworks. Yeah, I really need to get this soundboard on a different computer. I don't like having it all connected where I have to keep hitting the highlight the screen before I can mash a button. Throws me off every time. Anyway, Josh Walt and Zach hanging out with Jonathan from Jersey this morning, getting ready to catch up, find out exactly how his health's been doing, how the future looks, all that good stuff. Jonathan, how in the hell have you been?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Oh, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Well, you know, I had that. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, did you hear about that monolith out in the desert?
You know what? I think I figured out where it's from.
It's gone. It's in Romania now.
Yeah, well, no, I think I figured out what it was originally, and it was totally on a weird tangent. Somebody had turned me on to some show called Devs. Did you ever hear about that series?
I've heard of it, maybe even seen the first couple episodes, maybe.
I was going to say, I watched the first or second one too, and that's about as far as I made it.
Yeah, when they started describing that show, I gave them my idea of what quantum was, and they're like, bro, it's like, you got to watch the show. You just described the plot. I said, well, it's more than a plot. If somebody wrote about it, then it means it's actually, I'm right, and that's what's happening about AI. But no, they're in the very opening scene in the credits. Whoever did the artistic credits, there's exactly that object. If somebody goes out there and looks up the opening of Devs, at least the first episode, the pilot episode, that's all I saw. I didn't even see that. I watched it and turned it off. But you see that exact object that's in that thing, the same shape, design. It's so unique looking because it looks more like artwork to me than a monolith. But hey, you know, people are excited, so that's cool.
Yeah, like a couple days
Well, it was
after
more triangular shaped than the monolith was an actual, you know.
Well, that was a big black slab from the cemetery in the movie. That was awesome. Oh wait, did it change colors? I forget now. 2001. Was it different colors? Was it first a piece of slab, and then I know it turned black at some point with the stars? But what was it always jet black?
Yeah, it was always black. It's just during at the end, he could go in it and it became the Stargate of the first movie. And then in the second one, it's what started sucking the atmosphere of Jupiter up to compress it into becoming the second sun in our solar system so that its moons could become planets.
Oh, wait, wasn't that, remember in 2000, was it the second one was what, 2010?
2010, yeah.
And that was with John Lithgow?
Roy Scheider, and really great. I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie.
But there were a ton of those monoliths that came together or something.
Yeah, they all came up and started, like I said, literally terraforming Jupiter.
Another sun.
To make it another sun.
Huh.
But during that time period, there was a lot of talk, like Ancient Prophecies was being shown on NBC, it seemed like every other week. There were a lot of talk about the Hopi Indians and their new blue sun that we were supposed to have. Just that kind of idea. And that, what was it? The Hale Bop? No. The Shoemaker Levy.
Shebop?
No, the Shoemaker Levy comments. When they took Jupiter, there was a lot of talk in our underground circles that might be the ignition point that would actually sparked Jupiter into being our second sun. Because, back then, that's kind of what I was believing, that Jupiter was a failed sun because it had all the earmarks. Of course, now I know it's all bullshit. But
I still remember when that thing was hanging up there, that Hale Bop or whatever, that you go into Shoemaker Levy, and exactly where it was in the yard, and you look at it all night, and it just would sit there, like a stain, like a blue stain. It didn't really travel.
It didn't seem like it moved, right?
Yeah, and I'm thinking, man, they're just projecting that shit up there. Like, how come this thing isn't traversing the sky? Like, how come it always lines up in the same exact sector? The Earth is spinning, it's moving. Like, when's this effing thing going to do something? And I think, wow, they got really good digital optics up there. The LED screen or whatever. No, I don't know.
Hey, I went through that phase too of it being a screen.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's kind of what helped me find the Earth being flat, was looking at what's going on in our sky.
Oh, you know what's funny, you guys? Speaking of flat Earth, I was on a date last night, and this chick was talking, and she mentioned her ex-husband and his kid. I forget what. I think her kid's like. This kid was like 17, and he's coming into the flat Earth concept, right? And I look at her and I was like, "Flat Earth," right? And I said it with, the way I say it, and she goes, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "It's crazy, right?" I was like, "No," I was like, I've heard people talking about it, like how does he believe in this? And she starts telling me and shit. I just played stupid. And I listened, and she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "What do you think?" I was like, "What do I think about what?" She's like, "Do you think the Earth is flat?" And I'm like, I said, I don't judge people for believing it. And I said, I really don't know too much about it. And and it was like the third. It was so funny because it was like the third time. Another, I hang out with all these wackadoos down here, right? And I mean in an affectionate way. Everybody. Here's a funny thing. Ready? These fucking people believe in like Ganesh and their angel guides, and you name it, they'll believe in it. But man, if you wear a cross around your neck, it's like a friggin', you think it was like a vampire with garlic. They'll look at you and they'll tell you about their inner child shit. And my parents were Christians and it was oppressive. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let's go talk to the Ashtar Command. You know what I'm saying? It's like they'll discount somebody who's a historical figure like Jesus Christ, and without the dogma of religion, the oppression of the current fundamentalists and people like the prosperity churches. But like I'm saying, they'll subscribe to everything from the flat Earth to whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's just funny to see them reel at this. But in any case, she was going on about it, and I said, well, what was the thing that set this kid off? Like, what got him going? You know what she said? And again, I think this is why I'm tying this in. She said he started on his own, like searching for God. So, he's going to New Age bookstores. She's trying everything, but he's struggling with his Christian roots. And then he hit the part where the Bible, or somebody, I guess he hit the proof where the Bible says, there's a firmament. And so now he's like trying to tell his dad, like, "Dad, it's in the Bible." And his dad's like wigging out because his dad's like this cop that like believes in guns and Trump. And, of course the Earth is round, and, it's we live on a globe and you eat steak and everybody knows that. And Monday's Monday Night Football. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And his poor kid, I'm thinking, man, that's like if she would just give me like 5 minutes with him. And I said, "Hey, you ever hear this guy? He's like, Mark Sargent or something, or Mark Corporal, I don't know what the hell his name is." You know what I'm saying? Like, and see what this, I'd like to spin his head. If he knew him, then I would fuck with him a little. But yeah,
that's hilarious. He's gonna love you,
right? Well, if it goes that far, yeah. But yeah, But do you know what I'm saying about people that have all these like beliefs in the? It's not just New Age, it's anything esoteric and stuff, and then I'll wear a cross. Everybody's wearing their beads and stuff, and I have some beads on my wrist, like it was a gift. But I'm wearing, on my right hand, I wear this wristband that has a crucifix on it, and then I have my cool rock and roll one. It's an actually rock and roll looking cross, but I wear it more as to be an instigator, because I already know I don't need a fucking symbol on my chest or anything, adornment, for my own personal faith, right? Because it is personal. You either have it or you don't, whatever your belief is. But there's a lot of people that wear it exterior. So, same thing for picking up chicks, right? Hey, namaste, baby, And it just cracks me up, though. But how many people are offended by the cross? They had some kind of experience. My parents were Christian. I hear it left and right. I'm thinking to myself, wow, it's like if this guy challenges it this much, that to me is what Jonathan loves. It's called an anomaly. That anomaly is that this pattern, your resistance and your reaction is way too much energy for something that's 2,000-year-old. If you don't believe in it and he's dead or he didn't exist, then why is it affecting you? Like, okay, 7 billion people in the world. How many people believe in Christ? I don't give a shit if it's like, look, Santa Claus, right? We know that Santa Claus is our parents, but look at the magic of Santa Claus just in the power of belief to so many people, right? It perpetuates. And we know
Santa Claus isn't real.
Well, I'm saying that maybe.
How could
don't
that
put me
be
on the
true? You know how many people would have to be in on that, John?
Oh, now you're gonna go that route? Okay, I see how you're going.
Look, I got presents from Santa Claus when I was a kid. You gonna tell me I'm a liar?
You know what? I should have never come on a show and dealt with a bunch of people that believe that the Earth looks like a pizza pie or. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to challenge people and destroy people's beliefs because, like, that's a beautiful thing. Like, if they have it, and in somewhere in there, like, it's like, wait a minute. If we have all these things in common, if we have so what I'll do is, like, if I see somebody with certain, even a witch, right? She's Wiccan, and she hates my cross, right? Like, I'll start peppering her with questions, or get inside of the way I do, and I mean it like that, and I'll ask her questions about values, right? So, say she starts telling me about kids, or she tells me about a dog or something. I point out to her maybe 20 minutes into it. It's like, isn't it amazing how many things we have in common, like outside of this, and then I'll list all the things we just discussed. And I kind of like drop that into her consciousness to think like, if this is what's separating us, our path, because we're walking in parallel at that point, right? For 20 minutes, we're talking about all the commonalities and things we love, from puppies to our kids to maybe a favorite restaurant. You see what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden it's like, huh. Funny how we're on the same path more than we realize. Funny how we're all, going towards the same endpoint. From the minute you're born, you're already dying. So why not find yourself and spirit and all that in the process? And what I'm getting at is this. Oh, check this out, man. So in the back of this house on this property I'm on, these guys live off the grid. Like, they're going to let me build a garden back there. The one dude's from like Vietnam, and it literally, if I took a picture, you'd think I was on the set of Apocalypse Now. It's got like the bamboo gardens and shit and the palm tree leaves. And it's like, where the hell are you living, man? And this little dude's name is Mate. He's a really cool guy. And he's building all these gardens. Like, hey, can I build with you guys? And like, yeah, man. It's like, you know how to build? I was like, totally, just give me some tools. And so the one dude, I was leading up to a point on this. Where the hell was I going with this? I was mentioning, Flat Earth, right? I mentioned to him about the Flat Earth and how I had the radio show briefly with TFR and all that. And he says, you know what I think? I was like, what's that? He said, I've traveled enough, I've done enough studies. He goes, I think depending on where you are in your consciousness, it kind of takes different shapes. Like, kind of like when you do, and he starts going into DMT and everything else. And I was like, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying if you live in a certain consciousness, just like the current like Western philosophy, and you watch the mainstream media and all that, then the globe model that NASA offers is perfectly adequate. I mean, it's worked for many years, but depending on what dimension you shift into, then you start to realize that other forms make more sense. Can we say it that way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's pretty much where I'm at now.
Right? There is a spiritual component to this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like these people. What's that guy that David Icke? You guys familiar with David Icke?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean his material per se, not just the name. But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was checking him out way before Flat Earth.
Yeah, me too. I was reading his books back in like the early '90s, late '90s, and I used to leave them out on my desk on purpose, like at Verizon and stuff, when it was then Bell Atlantic, and print articles out. It was amazing to see how many so-called, you think your managers are straight-laced and all that, because they got to be, right? They have to act proper for corporate. But they would like look through the books or look through the materials I would print, so I kind of like drop my Johnny Appleseeds, and who was that? Remember that one guy? He always talked about that native elder. I guess the guy was like a shaman type, but he talked about aliens. Do you remember who? It was a little dude. And he wore glasses, and he was from I don't know if he was from Africa or something like that.
It's ring bells, damn it.
Okay, well, David Icke talks about this dude, and this dude would like talk about like the ancient reptilians, and as if they were like I guess a god race or something. I forgot. I think this guy name was Credo or Credois or something like that. Does that ring a bell?
I mean, the concept does. The name didn't do it for me, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm probably butchering it, yeah. But what I'm getting at is, like, there are enough stories, and, of course, hidden archaeology. And when we have John on, by the way, we have to reconnect with John now that it's over the holidays.
That would be amazing.
That's happening. That's totally happening. But there's people that
no, I saw that in chat. Not Nick Pope. No, that's a.
Who is it? What?
Nick Pope.
Oh, not Nick Pope. I like that guy too.
I like him too, but that's definitely not the description I would give for Nick Pope.
Doesn't Nick Pope give that one? He talks mainly about that one incident at that Air Force base or that one Royal Air Force.
Forest, is that it? Rendlesham?
Yeah, that's it. I could never say that word.
Where you at, Adam? Help me with this. I can't ever.
Horseradish Forest.
Yeah. I met Nick a couple of times. He was at conventions that I attended and had some really good conversations with him. He was a good dude. He came.
You know where I met him? Do you know where I met him originally?
What's that? Where's that?
Back in the late '90s, up in Vermont, of all places. No, in New York, in Pine Bush, New York. He was up there, and he was at that place where it was like a real hotbed of activity, where Patricia Doyle and Crystal, Crystal used to go up there, Elaine Crystal, and others were seeing all this activity. And there was a big base, but there were big triangles the size of the ones that were coming out of. Remember the one that went over Phoenix that time?
Right.
So it was like that
upstate
kind of
New York
activity.
had a lot of crap going on. It seemed at that point, I guess, late '80s, early '90s. I mean, that's where Whitley had all his stuff.
Have you never been up north? Have you been up the New York Thruway, gone the way to
Not
Vermont?
that far. No, never
Okay.
that far north.
So on the New York Thruway, coming up on 84, like near Newburgh or the Wallkill Valley, is where that activity would happen. I know there was a base kind of like northwest of there, an Army base or some kind of, maybe an Air Force base. But as you went out that way towards Pine Hill and all that, and Sears Road, you would start to see some weird shit. And that was where me and this guy named Dr. Bruce Cornett, he's back on the scene, and he's on Jeff Rentz lately. If you look him up, Dr. Bruce Cornett, him and I saw one of the first TR-3Bs. Did I ever tell you about that?
I don't think
No, go ahead, please.
We made a wrong turn. Like we were waiting to get to darker, it was like now like 1 a.m. We were doing field research and stuff like that. And he makes a wrong turn because this is before cell phones and crap, right? And we're just sitting there. He goes, let's just take a break. I was like, all right. And we're looking, we're talking about the data that he had in this, and we're looking at the whole horizon. And I get out to take a piss. And he gets out and he goes to look at the stars and all that crap. And then all of a sudden, we see like helicopters coming, and they weren't particularly loud, so that was kind of weird because like the lights were floating. But then you can definitely you saw the blinking pattern, and it was like, I think it was those like Chinooks, is that what they call them, the one with the double blades?
I think so.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
There's like one in the front, one in the back, and then right in the middle of it. Like now, even though it was dark, it wasn't that pitch dark 4 a.m. dark. And I think there might have been a moon out, because what happened was, like, when you could still see a silhouette of something in the dark, like when there's a full moon, or when there's when there's a cloud floating by in the dark, and then there's enough moon or starlight that you can see the cloud as an object. You know, okay, there's enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the video they're in that. You can catch some really interesting shots that way.
So you couldn't really see so much the helicopters, but this object, whatever it was like, it was weird, but it stood out, and you could see the triangular shape. I can't even describe it. It wasn't a plane, but it was an escort. In any case, it was an escort. There was a helicopter in the front, a helicopter in the back, and this thing was an escort right in the middle. And I'm looking at it, and he's looking at it, and I said to him, I was like, what the hell? And here we didn't have the camera set up. We had put away all the equipment because we had cameras and stuff. We were doing some time lapse and all this shit. And we just stood there for a good, because this wasn't one of those blip out experiences where people say, I saw it, it zoomed in, and then it blipped out into space. So this is what makes me think that it was military in scope and not, UFO. They didn't obviously capture a UFO with two helicopters. They were escorting it something back, and it was in the formation they were in. But it was so crazy to see this, man. It was like out of a movie. And because it was so surreal, all we could do was look at it and be like, what the hell did we just say? You know what I'm saying? It was really unique.
Yes, I really do. I had a little experience myself Thanksgiving night. I don't know if you've heard the show.
Last week?
Dude, I saw some of the craziest shit, Jonathan, I've ever seen. I've seen
last week, this past Thanksgiving.
Thursday night, when I took my son home, dropped him off.
Too much turkey. Go ahead.
Too much turkey. Food coma hit. No, dude, it was nuts. And I mean, this is after years of both having light experiences, seeming to see things.
You're supposed to focus on what you're thankful for, and when you say the prayers, you're not supposed to say, please God, send me a UFO.
Come get me out of here. Right?
Yeah. Oh, you're with the in-laws. I got you. Go ahead.
That's it. I'm heading back to their house, and I'm like, man, if I could just touch it right now, that would rock.
Fuckers would just come and pick me up. You can even anally probe me, but go ahead.
But definitely, I mean, it was the classic. The whole thing couldn't have been more classic. I see something I don't understand, try to get around to where I can actually view it above the tree line, see it doing like it was lights in a formation of a line, leaning over at about a 45-degree angle. They would break formation, fly around, seeing shape up into different little shapes. Like they did circular things. They did.
Just for you.
Dude, I have yet to see a report on it.
Let me ask you an important question. Did your head turn sideways like a dog that heard a weird noise? Did you go, ooh?
Dude, driving the car, trying to get to where I could film it with my brand new camera on my new phone.
Did you make sure to shake the camera and go in and out and blurry and shit?
I did everything I could so that when you see the video, you're completely non-impressed and go, oh, yeah, whatever. Because I really wish I hadn't videoed anything and just could describe it better because the video is so uninspiring.
You know what's funny about people with cameras, especially cell phones now, by the way, and I don't want to interrupt, but I have to say this.
Go ahead,
they
go
can
ahead.
take beautiful pictures of their kids, their food, their dogs, everything, but as soon as a UFO or something appears, they got Alzheimer's, or like they're worse than Michael J. Fox
That's
drinking
what I'm saying
Diet
about it
Pepsi.
being classic. You shoot that. There's a video, a 2 or 3 second video of me trying to undo my belt buckle, but I've got my new phone in one of those holster things just to protect it. So I'm undoing, I'm hooked into the belt buckle. I'm like, God damn, get off this. And I can't even get out of the car to get the video going. Yeah, classic. Everything I could have done wrong to video it, I did.
So wait, did you try to communicate with it?
Light in front of me so that it keeps taking my focus away from the lights in the sky. Yeah, it was bad. It was
Did
really
you send
bad.
thoughts to it, though? Did you try to project to it? So that
I
it
was
would...
doing the whole 9 yards. I was just like the whole freak out of like, okay, what is this? Is this something else? Is this just aircraft? If this is something else, then show me that it's something else. Oh yeah, I was in total freak.
Wow.
And this is after years of both having experiences, knowing people with experiences, and now looking at all that from a different viewpoint.
Okay, so now what'd you take away from it after? Like,
And, holograms and drones, all the shit that never was a part of all this when I was looking at it 20 years ago. But yeah, dude, I couldn't even tell you what I saw. I mean, I can't even make it be a hologram or lanterns or helicopters. It was something that could do nothing. I mean, there's no aerodynamic device that I've ever seen that could do what I saw happen. And then it disappeared very slowly, one at a time, until the last bright one was there, and then they all went away, and I just kept going.
Wait. You ever see when they disappear like that, but you literally get a sense that they're going up and out or away from you? Like
That's what they were doing. As they faded out, I could see they were going up into the. That's what I kept saying. Well, if that's drones, they're going up into the clouds, dark, and going.
Right, exactly.
Not drones coming down. It's not. Yeah, I couldn't explain it in any form. I have the video. I can show you the sad, depressing. I wish I hadn't made video, but yeah, just the experience was. When I got back to the house with the in-laws, they were immediately like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Let me show you." Then I couldn't get their TV to, do the multicast or whatever.
Yeah, you friggin' people that film UFOs. You always try to tell everyone and the shit don't work, and how convenient. Of course, Walt, the TV don't work. Of course,
right? It's classic. It's every classic that happened experience there.
No. Don't take this the wrong way. But were you hanging out at the trailer park with your group?
Right. How many hits did you have on the way to that dinner? Yeah.
Did your dog bark? Did your bloodhound go? Let's blow up every stereotype of you.
It was perfect. I mean, I couldn't have done it anymore by the book.
Right.
It is. Tell you what it was. Yeah, all of it.
You're funny, man. That's awesome.
And I still, Dawn and Chad asking, have I not seen anything still? I've checked up until like yesterday when it was Michelle's birthday. I haven't checked last night or today to see if there's any stories.
Oh, wait, was this outside your house? Is this outside your house that it occurred?
This was this is in like Lafayette, about 45 miles.
Oh, well, then you got to go back to Lafayette and you got to go stand there and wait.
Dude, I rode.
I'll be waiting for you.
Night, I was looking through my upper part of my windshield, driving everywhere in Lafayette we would go. They'd be like, let me drive if you're going to watch the sky. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let me do ready to be the sky watcher that night.
And meanwhile, whoever's like, whose house were you at?
At my sister-in-law. Yeah.
Meanwhile, your sister-in-law sitting out there having like a mint julep or something like that, and then she's looking, oh, there's those damn lights again. I wish Walt was here.
I wish.
Because all you have to do is freaking go back there and look up and
look.
It's like wait. It's like a kite on a beach, right? Like you can watch somebody fly a kite, but what's the radius of it? Like maybe 500 yards down the beach before it fades out. So like they're there every friggin' night. And you're looking like a tool. Like, oh look, I swear they're gonna come back.
I know
and all you have to do is stand right on that spot, man.
Watch, it's gonna happen right over there.
I suggest if you're go visit your sister-in-law more. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
And that's the other part of this, dude. I mean, we go to Lafayette. Used to almost every weekend, and now it's at least every other weekend. And this is the first experience like that in this part of the world. Every time I've had them here in Louisiana, it's always been in my part of Louisiana, which is closer to the swampy, coasty, that part of the world. Off on the levee, out away from town, way up in the sky. It was never anything like this where it was like over a city so low that everybody and their cousin who was outside looking up should have seen it and been going on Facebook and going, what the fuck did I just see in the sky? But none of that happened. Again, it really felt like it was one of those really gut-dropping experiences. Just, what is going on? Especially when I know all the things that I know it could be these days and keep expecting for them to unleash on us with their fake alien invasion card.
Yeah. So let's see. So let's
like any of that.
Yeah, it's funny how people like you and people like you, right? You'll believe in things like the flat Earth and UFOs and things that have no concrete proof, but you have the phenomenological experiences that go with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have these incredible experiences. And I'm not saying that didn't happen, but it sucks like that. These things that are so extraordinary and that really, that if there was substantial proof, and I say if because I'm still not, I can't even say the words I believe in the flat Earth because I have to hold my position as Jonathan. But do you know what I'm saying? Right?
We'll break in here in a second, actually. Wow.
Sure if you have a concrete proof to the alien dilemma or the flat Earth dilemma, and I call it a dilemma because really it is, right? Then all of a sudden you've shifted the entire consciousness of mankind, right? You've totally evolved.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem in today's modern media. From the mainstream to YouTube and Google, the information you're looking for
you? Good morning. I'm here.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard,
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Hanging out with Jeez, what the hell was that? Jonathan from Jersey.
Hanging out with.
Get a wallet. Get a wallet. He's having a stroke.
Can I have just a second?
Does anybody else taste copper?
I'm sorry, Zach.
No, go ahead.
No, it's going to be a short little rant here. All right. Did they hear Did you put music on for him during the commercials?
I did.
Okay. Well, the ex-head of Pfizer or something like that, right? There's all these people that are now no longer employed by these medical foundations. Recently, they were the leading experts until all this nonsense started. He is saying kids need to be going back to school like normal. We need to have open conversations about this to actually know, the real science behind it. He actually said this, and he's been removed from his position. Now, I know the head of some guy over in Europe is saying the same thing, and he was removed from his position. So these were the leading people in their fields until they didn't go along with the status quo. I mean, how much, and they're saying this stuff on the news. That was Fox News. How much more of a slap in the face do some of these people need that this is all nonsense? I mean, they're saying, the people who were in charge of this at the beginning, but because they're not going along with what, Bill Gates and all the heads of governments are telling them to do.
Right.
Now they're removed and they no longer know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Wake up. I know not the people in our chat or probably anybody listening to this, but
well, I don't wear my mask anywhere. I don't have to down here. And I walk into places and I even take it off once I'm in, because usually you just need it to get in. But like Home Depot, I don't wear them, stuff like that. And every now and then you get some old biddy that'll look at you and she's got a face shield on. She's got a level 4 or level 5, contamination suit, like it's the movie Outbreak. And she'll look at you and stare at you. I'm like, what? And she just goes, they just go on their way. And sometimes they'll call a manager. But by and large, nobody wears one down here in Florida. And I was at the 7-Eleven and the other day I just walked in without it. Because in most places I just don't even. I keep it in my pocket. And I see these two good old boys, and I look at them and say, "Hey, what's going on, Rebel?" And he looks at me and goes, "Damn right, brother." And he gives me a fist bump. He goes, "I ain't about that." I say, "Hey, I hear you, man." I said, "When they throw down, I'm ready. You got an extra gun, I'm a good shot." I've made some really good friends down here, man. You might see Jonathan from Jersey, a whole different side. You're talking like the Wolverine meets Punisher, and less than that, I don't give a shit.
I'm telling you. Florida man news stories are about to take a whole new twist.
They're about to break out.
Why? How's that? How so?
Because you're there now, Jonathan.
Because you'll be the Florida man in the news stories.
You're gonna know Jonathan from Jersey is down in Florida when there's a high-speed chase, and I got half of Broward County chasing me all the way up to Jacksonville.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna do it low speed or high speed yet, but it's gonna be dramatic.
Definitely low speed.
Anyway.
In reverse. That's dramatic.
Oh, but remember we were talking earlier, I was in the hospital last week.
Yeah.
Like most of the week.
How did that progress? What happened, and how are you, friend?
I'm good now. I mean, like, they pumped me full of IV antibiotics and quite a bit. I mean, let's put it this way: my two legs, I have big legs as it is, and I've always had like really defined, chiseled RoboCop calves, I call them. And I can't tell you how many guys would work out and really like beef it up and be like lunkheads. Like, dude, where'd you get those calves? I was like, dude, it's genetic. Trust me. I wish I didn't have them sometimes. But this one leg, my left leg, if I was wearing pants or sweatpants, you would have think I was like smuggling out a butterball turkey right before before Thanksgiving. It was like that much. It was like two different legs on the same robot. And worse than that, it was red and all that. So you could see where the infection was spreading up to the knee. And so what happened is, a week and a half prior to that, I was riding the bicycle down here, and the pavement had like that black, like when the vegetation gets putrefied and it becomes slippery, you have to use the power washer to clean the sidewalks. It was really slippery. It kicked out from under me, and the pedal kind of scraped across my shin, right through the pants and everything. So I tore the skin, and it was really weird. It was kind of like oozing the whole time. It just wouldn't stop oozing and stuff like that. And so I kind of patted it down, but I never really put a proper bandage in Neosporin. Just thinking, let me just like air it out and I'll dry quicker. That was stupid because we had a ton of rain down here for a week. We're walking in like ankle deep water here, all the farms, everybody. Like, I live on a farm, and it was just a mess, right? So that could have added to a bacteria. And there's a veterinarian place on either side of me, on a horse farm. So who knows what the runoff is? There's a multitude of things, mosquitoes, you name it. In any case, I now had cellulitis. As soon as I went in, I even paid to go in a walk-in clinic. Like, oh, that's cellulitis. Get to the hospital now. It was like everybody was like now. And even at the emergency room, like, oh, you're going to get moved to the front of the line. That kind of thing. So they pumped me full of antibiotics, and
that's when the fear kicks in, is when they start moving you to the front of the line.
Bro, I was like a little nervous. I'm like, I'm not going to lose my leg. I'm like, no, but it's good you came in now, not later. That kind of shit. And so everybody had the same conclusion. And then I got out. I was out in for only a day, but they should have really kept me in longer. So the next time I went in was Thanksgiving Day, actually. I went and had pastries. I'm having coffee, and I'm finally like, when I go to stand up, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't feel good. It felt like somebody was clamping down on my calf, like a Charlie horse. And immediately your first thought is, oh, it's deep vein thrombosis or something else. Like, no, they did another ultrasound. Everybody came back negative, no COVID. Oh, that's another thing. They had to do the swab with the COVID. Jesus Christ. Any case.
Your brain?
No. They were very delicate, but it was just that annoying, thing. It's like somebody tickling you with a feather, but it was like going way up the nose, and they didn't push to the back of the brain. All those horror stories, those are jerk offs that are at like checkpoints that don't know what they're doing, right? The same kind of people they hire to do most government jobs. But in any case, So there were, I'll tell you, this is one of the best hospitals I've ever been in. It's called Memorial West on Flamingo Road in Pembroke Lakes. And they were so attentive. They were so on point. And the funny thing is, like, as they came around, the doctors come around, they'd start talking and say, so Mr. Macedo, what you have here at the skin is in the dermis, right? And I proceed to cut them off, and everyone's like, what, do you have a medical degree? It's like, no, I get that. I know what this is. I don't have the technology or the good drugs. Like, just keep putting what you have to put in here. And I'm just sitting there the whole time treating it like I'm at the spa. I'm like, this room was amazing. There's like a whole new wing. And they're bringing me food. And I'll be like, hey, any more of that Cozy Shack pudding? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just having a great time. And
almost don't want to leave, isn't it?
I didn't want to. Part of me was like, I got this nice room. Nobody's bothering my ass. And TV, which I never watch. Here's TV.
Yeah, they say that's a thing. When I was there for it was over a week.
Yeah.
They said, when you leave, you're going to miss your nurses. You're going to miss all that stuff.
Let me tell you, the nurses here are
the attention's so cool. Great. It's amazing.
Yeah, they were really hip and cool there. They were really nice staff, and they get to know you by name if But I got to tell you this, man. So what happened when I was in Thanksgiving? I've been losing weight. I'm down 40 pounds now in just a few weeks because not only the emotional weight coming off, but just being out here in the sun and moving around and eating healthy. Because I've been eating like avocados. Like, I've been 80%, let's say, vegan, 20%, as opposed to ribs and McDonald's and sugary snacks. In any case, this dude comes in, the attending doctor, and he's from Cuba, and he says, brother, he goes, God has a message for you. And I'm looking at him, I was like, yeah. I was like, I do the same thing. And he goes, no, I'm telling you, he's giving me a message for you right now. This guy, check this out, man. The day after, like about a week after 9/11, I guess Bush, I didn't remember this, suspended all new citizenship papers in the country because we were under, I guess, some kind of war act or something that he declared, Patriot Act or something. So this guy is stuck here now from Cuba with this like weird status. And because he couldn't get a citizenship, he was only making, he said $5 a day or, an hour as a janitor, right? And here he is, he'd gone to medical, training and stuff in Cuba, and he was looking to get his medical license here. And then after that, when he finally got his citizenship, it had put a strain on his marriage and all that. And then he comes down with leukemia, and he's battling with that. And they actually sent him home from hospice. They were like, all right, like, here's what you got to do, and you're going to go home and die. And all of a sudden he gets a phone call from the hospital, and they go, we got this experimental drug. And this is all out of Memorial West, too, right? It's so weird. Anyway, long story short, by the end of it, he tells me this miraculous story, and I'm going to film him. He agreed to do an interview, and he gave me his personal information at home and his church, which, usually doctors and clients, they don't exchange that kind of info, but we had this really intense 15 minutes I had asked for. I said, bro, you got to get this testimony out to people more than just your church. I think in light of 2020 and everything that people have lost, businesses and all that, you have to tell. Because listen, this guy lost everything. He lost his wife. He said he was living off a few friends, like charity and couches, even in a homeless shelter, right? And he takes his medical thing, and he winds up landing in the top 1 percentile of his medical exam. He says there's 365 questions they ask you on a board exam. So in any case, after that, he starts getting phone calls all over the country. He only had a little bit of money saved up, and finally this one hospital out of Ohio calls him, and he says, I can't make it. And they said, you've been chosen out of 7,000 applicants. We've down to 6, and you have to come. What's the problem? Can we help you? And he told them the situation, I'm out of money. And they said, don't worry about it. They flew him out there. They said, we're going to put you up in a hotel. We got you covered on all meals. Just you have to come. That's where he got his first job. Well, fast forward now back to this hospital. And he says to me, he looks out the window. He goes, see right over there, that town, the next town over. He goes, I'm 5 minutes from work. And he says, I have a beautiful new wife, and I believe in Jesus and God. And they really changed my life. I never lost my faith. And he says, and now I have new cars and a new family. And I live on a 5-acre property with a lake that I could fish out of my own, And I'm looking, he goes, all I'm saying, brother, is like, you can change everything. He goes, as low as you are. I mean, it was just like, it was like better than any infomercial I'd ever seen, better than any pastor I'd ever seen. It was like God saying, listen, you fat fuck.
Eat your heart out, Tony Robbins.
Right? But at that moment, like, when God talks to other people and God works in mysterious ways. And it was like the words that he was saying was like really speaking to my heart. It was like, even though I'm behind this man, it's like, dude, man, this is like, so basically what it was God saying, look, you have no more excuses. You can't blame the past. You can't do this. I gave you every opportunity. I even give you this incredible house that you're living in, like the situations in which I came into this place. Like, what's your excuse now? Because if you want to keep doing this song and dance where you come to the hospital and you want to deal with Western medicine and all the things you don't necessarily live by, we can go that route. Sure. You can have your free will and be stubborn, and you can have diabetes, and I'm not going to take your leg just yet, but keep going down the road you're going down, stupid. You know what I mean? It was such a wake-up call. And then over the next few days, like I said, as it was getting better, just, gave me a lot of introspection and reflection. And part of it, it's so ironic that it was on Thanksgiving. I really started to think God was peppering me with shit like, that first plate of food that you would normally be eating at this time? I'm like, yeah, right. Because I'm looking at my meal that they're giving me from the hospital. And I was, when you're so hungry that anything that somebody gives you, you're like, oh my God, it's like the best thing in the world, a bowl of soup, I was eating it with that kind of like gratitude in my heart. But they said to me, right now, just realize that everybody who's going up for their first plate of food, and I'm an overloader. I don't know about you guys. Like when I go to the Chinese buffet, if I'm not two-fisting it, I'm piling that shit as high as I can to prove that, you know what I'm saying? This is me versus the buffet kind of thing, man versus food. And God shows me.
No, you don't know.
Oh, yeah, that guy does.
You'll be here for an hour.
Wasn't that dude in The Punisher with Tom Jane? That was him, right? That was
yes.
Yes.
I love that guy, John something.
Oh, he can sing too.
Can he really?
Oh yeah, he does Copacabana better than.
He's a funny dude. If he lost weight, he would like lose his act for that. I mean, and it's sad because you don't want to think, like a John Candy type. Somebody's got to play the fat guy, and I'm thinking maybe I should just go to Hollywood and keep the weight. But I'm saying he is such a character, and everybody remembers that Chinese buffet. You here for an hour, and anyway. What I was getting at is I was eating
John Panette. I had to look at
that. That's it. Yep. I said Pinchot. I knew it was wrong. Pinchot's that skinny Russian dude that always plays. He was that comedian guy, John Pinchot. Right. But here's the thing. So I'm eating this plate, my food. I'm thinking, and God says, a plate of food that you guys have in this country could feed like an entire family in another country. And for some people, that could be like a week's worth of food. And I'm thinking like, wow, talking about being grateful. Like here I am, I have this issue with my leg, and a lot of people might be bitching and moaning, complaining. And I'm thinking, okay, I didn't lose both of my legs in an IUD, an IED incident in Afghanistan, right? So I'm walking out here on my own 2 feet. I'm not a 3rd degree or 4th degree burn victim. I'm not going to deal with like skin grafts and everything for the next 6 months or a year, right? I wasn't in a car accident or motorcycle accident where I'm going to need pins and surgery and all that. And I really wasn't in any pain. I was more in discomfort. Discomfort's like an annoyance, right? You get up every time you stand up, it feels like a Charlie horse, but it's not killing you. You see what I'm saying? And even the doctors are like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? I said, I've had gout and kidney stones, so I would only put this at a 3 or 4. You know what I mean? It was that kind of like perspective kind of thing.
Dude, if you measure pain level against a kidney stone, that's a Scoville of 1,000,006 right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like it kind of throws out the learning curve. It's like, you bastard, like you messed up the curve for the test score in class. So I'm not like, you shouldn't really like.
Nothing hurts anymore. And I don't feel pain anymore.
Well, I said, right here, I should,
after a kidney stone.
I was gonna say, I've had a kidney stone, gout, and I had a girl rip out my heart on Valentine's Day. Oh, forget it, man. This is easy, man. You got it.
You got this.
But yeah. So that was my week, and then I got home, and it was like, everybody was like, "Oh, you're back," and I just literally picked off where I left off from, because I'm that way. Like, I'll get out of bed and it's like, all right, we going to Home Depot, and I literally stopped at Home Depot on the way home. And the funny thing is, as I was leaving, the attending doctor, because they always come in, there's always a new round of people, right? And they have to ask you the same questions, and they go, "Oh, what do we got here? How'd this happen?" I'm like, "Well, you're the doctor, man. You get paid. Like, why am I answering your question? You tell me. What do you think it is? If you had to make one guess." And like, "Oh yeah, cellulitis. Okay." And like, so does it hurt? And I was like, and then the nurse is looking at him, and I'm looking at him like, "Dude, I'm getting like discharged, right?" And like, "Oh, this is better." You know what I'm saying? Like, it was such a substantial improvement for all of us. But by any convention, it still looks like, 2 different legs. You know what it looks like, bro? Oh, that whole thing with C-3PO where one leg's silver now and one, and all that bullshit, the Mandela effect. So my right leg is golden color, and my left leg is red. What was that?
I said it's not a Mandela effect, but go ahead.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like one leg.
I do. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, so I'm going at it, and I'm thinking like, wow, it's like, because even when it was bloated, oh my God, when it was bloated and like red and everything, it was scary looking. I thought they're gonna have to cut it open to drain the infection and shit. I said to them, I said, you probably have better bodies coming out of the friggin' Miami dink by, detectives and shit down here. And you see these bloated bodies in this leg, right? And they're laughing and stuff. And I'm like, it was bad. So.
Well, I'm glad you got through it, brother, because infection can get away from you suddenly and things get really shitty quickly. So,
well, it didn't go to the blood. They test for sepsis and all that. And I've had blood poisoning where you see a red line literally start going up to your heart. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's when it gets that's when they definitely put you at the front of the line. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool when they inject the antibiotics like that, because I did that once when I was a kid. I got and they gave me a tetanus shot, right? So again, when I was a kid, I had gotten stabbed with a knife, don't ask. And where the infection point was, where the knife entry was, you saw this red line just going up my arm. And when they put in the antibiotics, you literally seen the red line start going back in real time.
Start reducing, yep.
It was awesome, man. It was like digital on my arm. Yeah. Wow. So
that's crazy. I got your message, and as always, you and I never connect on phone calls, dude.
You got my call?
Yeah, I tried to call you back 3 times. You must have already been in all this going on, and yeah.
At every given instance, every 2 hours, you know how they always come in to check your blood pressure or some BS? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I would just turn off the phone too, because I'd just get getting interrupted, or I would never be able to get solid sleep for 4 hours, because at that point you're exhausted, and that's when I sleep. And when my body's shot, I don't fight it, but yeah.
And that is frustrating in the hospital. That's the most frustrating thing, is you're wanting nothing but recovery sleep, and it seems like every 5 minutes they're in there.
Right, and it's like sleep is the most healing thing, and you think in a hospital that would be so simple, just let the fucker sleep, and 80% of the job is done. But no, it's like,
I'm in a car wreck, and the next night they got me walking up and down the freaking hallway, and I'm like, I was in a car wreck. This is not attached anymore. Can we chill? Can I just
sit? that and they have the
TV? Fuck.
Yeah, no, that and they have the cockroach lights on, the ones that they turn on at 3 a.m. You're in a bar, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I've been talking to this person all night. But there was only one nurse who had no bedside manner, and she would come in and she'd be like, I just have to turn on the lights, and she wouldn't even give you a warning. She would already be turning them on as she's speaking the sentence, and I'm like, you should say it first, let the person count to 3, cover their eyes, and then no, 3 a.m. It's like a friggin' drill sergeant. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad it didn't go like it could have. Absolutely. Before it scrolls too far up again and I lose it, thank you so much, Tommy. That flat fellow, shout out, gave us a super chat. Just a good old boy, never wearing no masks. I love it. It's awesome.
There was one before that too.
Did I miss that?
That was
one?
his second super chat. It sure was. Yeah.
Oh, he sure did. Thank you for the sunglasses, sir. I definitely wear my sunglasses at 4 a.m.
Oh, let me ask you guys a question, because I've been out of the loop for a long time. Do you know anything about somebody big? Like, I think is it Jamie Dimon, the guy from JP Morgan? You know that guy? That he's a secret flat earther.
I mean, come on,
No.
they all are.
Tell me more. They all know, but tell me more.
Okay. Well, how do I put this delicately? So I heard from a little bird on my shoulder whispering in my ear that Jamie Dimon was interested in the flat Earth, and that supposedly somehow reached out or was interested in Mark Sargent. But I don't know if this is a rumor or not. If it's true, I don't know if Mark mentioned it on air. Or anybody knows anything about this? But I was curious.
No, I haven't heard that. See,
I remember the Kelsey
this
Grant
is what I've
thing.
been waiting for. You know,
What?
like somebody who is somewhat an elite, not an actor, not a musician or an athlete, but one of these people. Because in the history books, you know, when they rewrite the history books, it will be one of these people that reintroduce the flat Earth to, you know, the plane.
Right.
In the future, they're going to say so-and-so, sir, blah, 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 or this you know, Lord, whoever, the Duke of whatever, realized that science was wrong and that they were lying and blah, blah. They're going to have their George Washington. I made a video about this years ago. I named it to, what did I name it? A question to you in charge. Like, which one of you are going to be the Paul Revere of this movement? Which one of you is going to be the, you know, that key turning stone, that turning point to where, you know, one of them is now coming out and saying, yes, the Earth is flat, blah, blah, blah. Because they'll be the ones that are, if they stay in control, they'll, you know, it won't be a Mark Sargent in the history books or a Eric Dubé or even a Robotham, you know, stuff like that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be one of them. So I've been waiting for one of the elites to take the reins and be like, "Yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put my name in the history book."
I like that.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective that I never took to that furthest out point thinking through it. That's awesome. Because you're right. One of them will want to have the credit. I mean, obviously.
I got a question. Now, I've been asking myself, this is one of those questions I didn't say aloud, and I've been asking myself this for years. And I finally said it aloud Saturday, so now I can say it again. I mean, it's out there. You know, I said it in front of a telephone and this and that and yada, yada, yada. But, okay. Let me know if you get this. If you were never underneath the moon's frequency, you know, the electricity, the energies that come off the moon, if you could somehow hide from those, always be where the moon wasn't, would you get older?
I've wondered that same thing, Zach, actually.
Wait, say that again?
If you could stay out of the moon's light, it's energies that come and blanket the earth as it passes over. You know, it putrefies, it does all these things. It's cold light. It's like the opposite of the sun. It doesn't bring life. It brings, you know, decay. So if you were never underneath the moon, somehow you could always not be where the moon was, would you get older?
Interesting. You know, I don't remember. I know Adam and Eve in the book that was taken away from the Apocrypha, John was talking about it not long ago, it seems like, maybe, when they first saw the sun as it was introduced into our sky. It freaked them the fuck out. They didn't want to come out of
They
there.
thought it was a beast, coming to devour them.
So I wonder if there's an equal story about when the moon was introduced. I don't remember.
Wait, weren't there lots of stories about there one time not being a moon?
Yeah,
there were, absolutely. There's lots of tribes that keep that tradition in their collective history, that there wasn't a time.
So all of a sudden you see like these big Star Wars Imperial fucking, excuse me, whatever those things are.
Yeah, about 10
and
seconds.
they're pulling the moon into position. It's like doop, doop, doop. And, you see this big object being pulled in, across the galaxy. Like, where the hell did it just come from?
No doubt. Well, we are hitting break again for the last time here. So, wow, we got real breaks.
That is definitely some real break music. Ironworx, Truth Frequency Radio. Josh, Walt, Zach, Jonathan from Jersey. Stay tuned. Fourth and final segment coming up after this.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
And welcome back for the fourth and final segment of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Yeah, I got nothing.
Was that the dude from Napoleon Dynamite at the end? That guy making that noise? Was that the guy that had the chicken coop?
No,
Nope.
It's a mummy.
Egyptian king or whatever they call it.
At the end, where he goes,
Yeah.
That sounds just like the dude from Napoleon Dynamite, the one where, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
He
you
shoots the cow.
You
with
mean
the
this
shotgun.
one?
That's not from Napoleon Dynamite?
No. No. That's even better. Even better than Napoleon
You know what I'm
Dynamite.
talking about.
No.
right?
Yeah, I know which one.
The mummy, Josh.
No, he's talking about the other one. He's not talking about the mummy.
I don't know what the mummy is.
Play the mummy.
That one.
No, that other one you played right before that.
Okay, I thought it was the mummies.
Where's that one from, Josh? Yeah, that one. Where's that from?
That is Stephen Hawking.
Stephen, I'm sorry that he didn't know that was you, man.
Yeah. He gets a little upset.
Man.
He likes his name recognition.
Sorry.
Don't get pissed off.
We've been joined by Stephen Hawking as well. Stephen.
That's Stephen Hawking?
Stephen. Yep. He visits from time to time. He doesn't stay very long.
He's in Florida, I know, but don't hold that against him.
You're not that far away. I got on freaking Route 10. I'm coming out there to kick 100% of your Louisiana.
Hey, dude, Steve's the one trying to get out of the chair.
I will pull into a rest stop, pick up a shit kicker hat, and I will kick your ass. I will bet. I will get a
You lit a fire under his ass, dude. Yeah,
I will even cut off my damn shorts. I will cut off my jeans.
Stephen, calm down.
I know.
He said rest area, the second rest area.
Let me tell you something, pal.
Orlando.
It's down in Florida. I bought my first pair of camo friggin' shorts, so I'm ready to kick your ass.
You are home. That's.
I just need some boots now. I just need some good work boots.
Get the white gum boots if you're gonna do it. Do it right.
All right, man. You wait. I'm gonna show me your doorstep.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna go driving around Lafayette, looking at the sky, thinking that there's such a thing as space.
Looking for the aliens.
It was the second rest stop outside of Orlando, but he wanted to make sure that you said to look in the handicap spots.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. First rest stop, I'm going to pull over and have me a mean breakfast at a Waffle House or a Cracker Barrel. At the second rest stop, I'm going to take me a mean dump. And at the third rest stop, that's where I'm going to take out Walt. I don't know which stereotypes you want to blow up. No, wait, I'm sorry. Third rest stop, I'll get me a nice tall coffee at Pilot. My free coffee because I've already gotten 10 of them for my gas fill-ups, and then I'll get over to Walt.
That Pilot coffee card going.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know, sir.
Oh, it's got good coffee. Anyway, I always put like 2 of those Stokes in if they got them. Those friggin' caffeine shots. But no, I was gonna say about the moon when the ancient Indians and all that were looking at the moon. If you think about it, like they're when you put animals in a plant, what do you call that? Like an aquarium type setting, like lizards or anything.
A zoo.
Yeah.
Not a zoo, a little tanky thing.
More like a terrarium.
A terrarium, right?
Understood.
Sometimes put a heat lamp, and then if it's an aquarium, it has water. But you usually put the fish in there or whatever so they can survive while you're building the environment. And then every now and then you're putting your damn hand in and take, oh, look, I got you another little plant. Or, oh, look, I got you a SpongeBob castle or some bullshit, right? And you fill up that tank. So imagine you're those people back then, right? And they're still building the earth. Like God's been, or the creator or somebody's building this shit. And all of a sudden they're putting up the panel for like the new moon, right? It's like, hey man, did you hear they're going to build a moon right next to the super Walmart? And there goes the moon up in the sky.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And yeah, no doubt.
I mean, what would be easier? Ready? I mean, God can do anything, supposedly. I always challenge God, like, prove it to me. But what's easier? Mapping out billions of stars, trillions, or whatever number is the highest number we can't count to, and then putting them in some kind of configuration where there's like this astronomy, and then spinning the Earth at a certain speed, and then projecting it at a certain speed, and then making sure for perturbations and gravity and all this other bullshit, then making sure that comets don't collide with the planet where you put all your eggs in one basket, i.e. the Earth, or
don't forget, you got to keep up with all those satellites. Keep those.
Yeah, don't complicate things, man. Let's not even go there. But the point is, like, what's easier, that or just putting a nice 16K or 24K LED screen and wrap it around the firmament and just project all the stuff you want. Look, I could project the entire thing that I used to pay a big ticket for to go to the planetarium in New York City. You can now put that on your desktop and project it in your friggin' living room or wherever, your bedroom. So, I mean, what's harder? What's easier?
Well, I read, what was this? I forget who. It was like 1800s. Some guy was saying that the luminaries are projected from the ocean.
What?
All the lights in the sky, even the sun and moon.
What do you mean from the ocean?
They come from the earth.
How is that possible?
I don't know. But, I did a video with, we were over at Chris Pontius's out in Texas. And all those domes that he makes to put over his flat earth, his little, whatever.
I know.
Yeah, the AE map with the dome over, and he puts the stars in there. Well, when you hold one of those up, a light that's behind you will become a hologram in the center of that, and it floats around. It looks like you can grab it. Not like
even on that video you guys made.
Yeah, you could see it. In the video.
It was fucking nuts. That was one of the most mind-blowing things I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is possible that the lights are coming from they're Earth-based, but yeah, how do we not see these lights? All that kind of stuff.
Back to the moon being gone back in the day, Tommy there, that flat fellow in chat, said, every ancient religion says when the moon was brought here, it caused a great flood. Coincides with the Bible flood. The Hopi Indians were protected by a force field in a cave. Weren't they also taken to those caves by the ant people? I remember something like that. Anyway, look at the ages of people in the Bible, pre-flood and after flood. Does the moon shorten our lifespan? Yeah, that's interesting because it actually says that your time will be 120 years. Because I'm tired of your bullshit. At some point, I remember as well in the Bible being told that our lifespan will change.
That's why I always say 120 years is because it says you can't really.
They say,
and 120 years is a pretty long time. I don't think I want to live much longer than that.
When the moon came, the great flood, or the flood came and the moon came with it, or something.
Not for nothing. If you could live 900 years like Methuselah or one of those people, like God, man, like I would kill myself just on principle. I'd be like, F you. 900 years. I can't even think about how I'm going to prepare for retirement. You know what I mean? Like, and getting old, like, even if I could have a young body for the first 300.
Yeah, but that's just it. They didn't have money and stuff back then. They just lived.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you could just live and have no stresses and not even know what day it is, like, yeah, what do you care if it's a week or if it's 900 years? You know, it's like, oh, like I have 6,000 kids now. You know, well, that's the problem too. Depending on who you're going to give that lifespan to, they could be sensible about it, or they could have a whole whatever, a problem. That's how we got China, right? Bible doesn't mention that. All the old fuckers moved to China, and now we got China and India. Population explosion. No, but I mean, think about it. Like, were they allowed to have kids past a certain age? Or do you think they had kids, like, you know, unconventionally? Because, like, we lose the ability to have kids usually around, like, 45, 50, you know, hormones and stuff like that.
I mean, didn't all the elders in the Bible father children way into their elder days is what I remember.
Yeah, they were like that Greek actor. What's his name? Remember, he was 80 years old and he's still slamming chicks that were like 20.
Right.
The Zorba, the Greek guy. What's his name? Can't think of his name.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do know, but I can't think either.
See it in my
Well,
head.
Ramses, didn't he have kids up until he was like 100, something like that? He had like 100 and something kids. He was just popping them out left
Hey,
and right
Grandpa.
until he died. Yeah.
Hey, Gramps, what do you want for your 226th birthday? I don't know, a nice 19-year-old girl to breed with. You know what I mean? I mean, that's pretty sad when you're looking at your great-great-great-great-granddaughter's girlfriend as your possible next, you know, only because you're Ramsey. I always tell people, listen, man, when you're looking for your third wife, go check out some kindergarten playground, because I guarantee you, like when you're in your 30s, like and you're on your first or second wife, you know, go cruise a playground, because yeah, it might sound sick now, but I promise you, she's like 20 years younger than you. Because I know, you know, like last girl I was with, when I was a senior, she would have been a kindergartner, and I said, when you put it in that perspective, that's pretty perverse.
That is pretty.
So I can't imagine some guy in the Bible who's like 389 years old. So, hey, what's going on? You're looking good. Like, how old are you? Well, you know, about 105.
And the Bible was like porn for the old. Oh, look, Arwen.
What?
Arwen's on my page. Porn stars of antiquity. I mean, dude, think about all the sex and the seed being spilled and the angels getting raped. And
I forgot about the angels too.
They straight up got raped when they went to Sodom and Gomorrah. Before
The
you get too
angels
far
did?
up. Well, yeah, that's why they had to burn and.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that? Now you just made me think of something.
Fucking sodomized.
Remember that movie Barbarella? Remember Barbarella?
Right.
Remember the real sexy chick? Hey, my precious, the chick with the black hair, and they had the angel in bondage down there. Like, do you think that was a? You think that was a reference to Sodom and Gomorrah?
It probably. I'm gonna have to go back. It's been too long. I have not.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Years. Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. Jane Fonda, what a C word. Like, you know, with the Vietnam experience, but man, did she look good as Barbarella. Holy shit. She could have sold me onto communism. You know, it's like AOC with her big juicy wawa. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if she said, "Hey, baby, do you want to come join our socialist party?" And I'd look her up and down, like, you know, this week I do.
Before it scrolls too far up and I lose it again, we're Flat Fellow saying the Aborigine religions say the moon was brought too close.
Back it up.
Truly, no, wait. Seriously, wait. I'm going to get to it. Great flood was caused, and after weeks, it was moved farther away, and the waters receded. Back when we were looking at, oh man, who is the group? Damn it, they do the whole electronic universe thing, and they were talking about that.
Thunderbolts?
Who is it?
Thunderbolts?
Yeah, they said like the moon craters look like what happens when you're welding, and the arcs go into dust on a like plate of metal and makes those same craters. And so I thought, well, crap, if you park this big thing over us to fuck with our energy and control us, because that's what I was thinking back then too, and get it too close, it's going to arc because of the electromagnetic nature of this world, create those craters on it that are facing us, which there's no way would ever happen from fucking meteorites. So here we got the flood idea going with that too. So, yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point. Wait a minute. When we would look at those craters and the moon is fixed, right? And those craters like dead center bullseye kind of hits. They're not coming in askew, right? They're not like just narrowly missing the Earth and going past the Earth,
right, and
skimming the Earth and then hitting into the moon.
Big long streaks to land. No, they're
That's
dead.
That's a very good point. How come there's no streaks on the moon from something that hit laterally?
Right. That's what got me on that whole idea is the
that's a great idea.
Sucked down to us.
I'm gonna ask somebody
You
next time.
can see the girders, man. Where's my moon at? You can see the girders at the.
Hey, wait a minute. Oh, you want to hear something? Hold on. Speaking of Bruce Cornett earlier, he did send me an email just the other day about some girl. You might have known this girl. I don't know. She's 24 years old, and her name was Sarah. It looks like Michelle or something. Lafreniere, Lafreniere. So, but she did substantial research on the internet. It seems on the moon. Like her. For somebody who's so young, she really did a great job. Let me just drop the link, and then maybe the crew in the chat room can check her out. But yeah, no, that's like when you really, it's funny. You look at the moon every night, right? And you think, wow, and we've all looked at it, and we've all seen it, but we've never questioned it, right? All these anomalies about it.
Some of us have.
No, some of us have. No, preaching to the choir here, but I'm saying. Before
the moon
Crow
is even more mysterious to me than the sun, even though, well, I don't know, it's weird. Just a lot to do with the cold light and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I have no clue what the moon is.
Was it Crow 777 who was the one who filmed the anomalies with that scan rate thing that would go across the surface?
The lunar wave. Yep.
The lunar wave. That's what you call it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was looking into that. That's kind of what I heard about flat Earth.
Yep.
But that's what I was going to ask you. Was one synonymous with the other, or which one came about first?
No, he wasn't a flat earther when he found his lunar waves. I'd seen the moon basically melting in the sky. It's hard to explain what I saw. So I was
Dude, that's you and your friggin' drugs. Let's not bring drunk culture in.
It was a good night. I saw some crazy shit. I went looking for melting moon or wavy moon, and which that brought up the lunar wave videos by Crow, so I watched those, freaking the fuck out. And at that time he was thinking screen refresh rate, because you were, when you were talking about the sky. So that's the rabbit hole I was in, was the screen sky. There was a guy named Casey Josh who had filmed some insane shit going on in the sky that seemed very screen related, high def screen above us. So I'm like, holy shit, we're in the fucking Matrix. I wasn't flat earthing at all, and suddenly here's all these flat earth videos right after that. It's when they started hitting my feed. So
well, again, let me ask you a question. You ever have a reptilian? You ever keep any reptilians like in a aquarium tank?
Puts the lotion on its skin.
But I'm saying, what's usually on the top of the cage, right? It's usually not a solid cover. It's usually a screen, a very fine screen with a rock on it.
Right. Oh yeah, to hold it down. Absolutely.
So maybe the moon is there to hold us down with the screen. No, I'm just kidding.
No doubt.
She's got a hell of an appendix there on her website, though.
What's that?
Oh, you got it? You sure do. Thank you, Josh. Josh put a link there in chat for Sarah.
Yeah, you see her pic. I guess that's her picture. I don't know. I never met her, but supposedly she was 24 and she died. But I think she's censoring of Antarctica, unsanctioned photography. I don't know. My friend sent it to me. Thought it was significant.
I will look into that, definitely.
There's some questions.
She supposedly did some really good work. Domes, towers, structures. She zoomed in on it. I got to tell you this last thing. So people have like really nice high-end telescopes, and I think they even have them now where they track, and you can have a USB thing with a little camera that you can watch from the the convenience of your monitor. And so my mom, when I was a kid, picked me up this shitty little telescope from like Bradley's or somewhere local. But it wasn't crappy at all. Like I put in all the loops, I started playing with it. And the first thing I saw, I looked at the full moon and I saw the edge of it and I dialed it in just perfect. And I got to tell you something, man. I was standing there. I was fascinated. To this day, that image is etched in my mind's eye. I can still see it where, when you see heat waves or whatever is in the atmospheric condition, there was that, but then the without bumping into the telescope, because you have to move it every now and then, right, to track the moon. It's really moving at a certain rate. But I could see the edges of the landscape of these, like, what look like almost like mountain ranges, like you're looking at the Adirondacks or you're looking at the, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I'm thinking to myself, man, I always thought of the moon as being round like a marble, but bumpy or dented. I never thought of it as having surface raises, right? But as I looked at the edge, and this is a shitty little telescope. I don't even remember if it was a 4-inch. It was like something LX something. It was a skinny tube one. It wasn't one of those fat 10-inch ones. And yet, when I put in the right loops, like they're called loops, the little magnifiers at the end, where you put in the focal point.
Yep, that's right.
I put in a 10x or a 20x, and I'll never forget it. It took me a while to find the right dial in. And then all of a sudden it came crystal clear, and I said, wow, I could see why people would stand out here night after night and look at like things in the sky and be fascinated. You know, I didn't have the wherewithal to look towards something at a further distance Saturn that wouldn't track or move as much.
See, I was trying to do that immediately. As soon as the moon...
So I didn't even know.
The first time, I was like, oh shit, now where's the rest of it? And I couldn't find those things that I was seeing on the NASA pictures in my books at that time.
Well, the moon is a big object, so you can kind of hit it right off the bat. Right?
And I didn't know the size of telescope and the fact that it's basically it's toy.
Yeah.
And, you know, but as I moved on up to 5-inch and seeing people who had the 8 and 10-inch ones, anyway,
it had that little side rectangle.
Still never saw the clouds of matter and any of that shit. It only
remember like the old iron sights on the old. Remember the old iron sights on the old machine guns like they use on battleships, and the guy would like do the crank thing to kind of turn the gun left or right. Yeah. So this had like a little iron sight on the side, and if you look through it, wherever you lined up that object inside this little manual sight, you know, iron sight, you would actually be dead center of the telescope on the object. So that's the only reason I could hit the moon. There was nothing else in the night sky I could really see with a full moon, because it kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like it eliminates everything else.
I know.
But to this day, like I said, there was like, and I'm thinking to myself, this is only one little segment. This was like kind of like cropped in so tight that I only seen a little piece of the curvature of the moon or whatever it was. And I'm thinking if I could really explore this whole friggin' thing, I mean, I don't know how long it would take. I'm a kid, right? So I'm imagining I could do this overnight. I can't imagine the anomalies that must be up there. So these people like this girl that do this research day in, day out, get familiar with the landscape, keep going back to the same area, and then all of a sudden something's out of sorts. You know,
well, it's just like when when I say we, because I know you used to do a lot more sky watching probably than you do now. When I was full-on UFO researcher, dude, I stayed with my head in the sky, and that's how I saw the things I saw, because I was never not look. If I was outside and it was dark, I was looking at the sky. Then came phones and blah, 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 and now here we are. So, yeah, it's all about attention and where you're putting it, because if you're not looking up there, you're not going to see the shit that's happening, you know?
Well, wait, did you ever use night vision goggles while you were doing that?
The only time I ever had access to that was cool was when Zach was here. He had a little, like, device. I don't know. Explain that thing you've got, Zach. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's phase 1 or phase 2 technology, they call it. But it's just a night vision monocle. It's got a, I think up to a 4x zoom on it, and then a couple focusers on it. And this was made by Coleman back in the 90s. They made it for 1 year, and then the military bought the patent because there's no batteries needed.
Wait, what is it?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. You like pump
phase 2, yeah, it's got a little handheld pump on it, and you charge it up, and it lasts about 2 minutes. One little pump, and it's not hard to do. You just hold it in your hand, you squeeze it, whoosh, and it'll give you night vision for about 2 minutes. And then, you can just keep pumping it.
Nuts. And you can just do it over and over and over.
What?
And what you see when you look through the sky, dude, it's like you see that depth of sky behind the stars that you normally see. It's pretty insane. I would love to.
What's giving you this ability to do night vision without electronics?
I know, it's what I don't know. It's like, that's alien fucking technology right there.
That's why it was only out for 1 year.
It's got electronics. That's the hand pump.
Do you still have this?
Yeah.
It's like the old hand crank radios. Remember, you crank the radio and you generate electricity, and then it runs the radio? That's what the pump is. You pump it.
No, wait. I got to hear this. Wait. What's the brand? Like, who makes these things? What are they?
No.
You're not getting.
No, Coleman made this. Coleman camping gear.
Okay.
For 1 year. That's it.
And wait, and say it again. So wait, you got these goggles. They look like regular night vision goggles. They're amplified, magnified, or not?
Yeah, it goes up to 4x magnification. It's not goggles. It's just one. It's a monocle.
It's a monocle. Okay, monocle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then you pump it with your hand while you're holding it, kind of like a little Nerf football or something.
No, it's beforehand. Like you pump it up like you would, like you say, like the radio or the recharge.
Oh, so it has a built-in charging unit.
Yeah,
That's
and then you
still
get
electronic.
Looking.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But how economic was it? Like $2.99 or less?
I paid $125, but he was selling it for $150. But that's when I was building my bug out bag, so I got a deal.
And you're saying that the U.S. Army or somebody, the military, bought up the patent or some bullshit?
Yeah, and now I think you can get them. They're starting to come back out on the market, but they're like $600 or so.
Of course. Of course.
And they're not as good.
We are quickly creeping up on getting out of here.
Man.
20 seconds, yeah. Thanks so much, Jonathan, though. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, man. Thank you for
fun, man. It's fun, guys.
Anytime. That's awesome. Thank you in chat. Clarification on the fact that the Angels didn't get raped. So thank you, guys. And yes, the moon probably is a recycling center for our souls. I agree completely, CJ. Completely. Watch that moon. It's dangerous. Love you guys. Thank you all.
Yep, you guys be good, be well. Love you. We will see you right back here Friday morning. Stay tuned. Friday night, fingers crossed. We're going to have an exciting episode. We'll see. Love you guys. Bye-bye.